What the hell what is below her, bro?
I can't do this while I'm giggling.
Is that her foot?
Where am I? What's happening?
What? Mermaid?
Yeah, but there's more.
Welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about friendships and my personal experiences with friendships. And I want to preface by saying that I have been in a healthy, long-term relationship, which I do feel like affects your relationship with friends and friendships, because a lot of the time if you're single, I think there's definitely less of a focus on friends and there's more of a focus on finding a partner. So I'm coming from the perspective of I'm in a happy, healthy relationship for almost a decade, which is crazy. So I very much have craved friendships and really deep connections because I'm very happy and secure in my relationship. So that's not something I have to think about. That's my first point. I have always craved really deep and meaningful connections with friends. I think friends are just so important and almost the backbone of who you are. I feel like everyone's seen that quote where it's like, if you want me to tell you who you are, show me your 3 closest friends, because you are who you surround yourself with. Yeah, definitely, like, love all my friends. Some of you are probably watching. Hey, what you doing? Subscribe. So I never felt the need to have like a big group of friends. Although when I got to my 20s, I would say around 21 to 23, 4 maybe, was definitely a time where I was trying to find out where I fit in and how I could create a big group of friends. I never went to uni. I haven't had jobs where I've been able to make really close friendships. This might resonate with some of you, but if you don't go to uni, if you don't work a job where you can find friends, how the fuck do you make friends? It's hard, man. It is really, really hard. And it was around my early 20s when I was really feeling lost and I was feeling super, super lonely. And I felt like I was just seeing online everyone with their big groups of friends, always did stuff, and it was so easy, and it was like they all just came together and seemingly were together all the time. That was probably the only time I wanted like a big group of friends, or I thought I needed a big group of friends, when in reality, and how it's always sort of been for me, is just like I just need those close few. Having lots of people around you is great and it can be a lot of fun, but for me personally, I just kind of have like close-knit friends that know me super well and I know them super well, and when we talk and connect, it's so easy. If you've clicked on this video wanting advice for how to make friends in your early 20s, or you're feeling lost, you don't know how to make friends, I'm gonna tell you the same thing that everyone tells you, which is to branch out, be yourself, blah, blah, blah. Boring. But I will say that I think you need to join some sort of club, whether that's the gym or a book club or connecting with people in Facebook groups, soccer, like whatever it is. It's probably going to be in the form of some sort of group. There are some communities where you can make friends literally overnight, but most of the time it is going to be a trial and error thing. I'm going to use pole dance as an example. I started pole on my own. I went to class on my own. The pole community is super accepting, although it wasn't until I got to my second studio and 7 months into my journey that I actually started to make friends. So there's definitely some trial and error. So how to find those really important people in your life and to actually connect with your friends. I don't think there should be any shame or stigma around what you want as a friend, what your intentions are, and what you want them to give you. It's the same with a relationship. Communication is everything, and if you want really important, deep, meaningful friendships, you have to express that. I don't understand why we can express what we want with a romantic partner, but when it comes to friendships, it's kind of like you just have to like roll with the punches, do whatever, and just go with the flow. And I'm not saying you have to be extremely high maintenance, because in reality, they are just your friends. You don't need to be obnoxious. However, I think it's important to be like, hey, like, I don't like when you're flaky like this. My time is really important and our time together is important. I don't want you to keep being late to our coffee dates. It's also super important, again, to communicate with your friends, but also to admit when you're wrong. Make sure you're always reflecting on yourself and your actions. Story time, I guess. I had a best friend all throughout high school, and we actually had a falling out for about 4 to 5 years, so almost half a decade. I reflected on the situation a lot, and it wasn't until I realized she ended up moving to Italy, and I realized that I was super upset with the way that things were left, and 4 or 5 years later I ended up apologizing to her, and she completely accepted my apology. We saw each other and it was like no time had passed. Like, we were best friends again. It was crazy. That was such a moment of self-growth for me, because although some people may find it embarrassing to come back 5 years later and be like, hey, I was wrong and I'm thinking about this, at the end of it, I did the self-work and I decided to grow, man up, and just apologize. And in turn, I ended up getting a really great and beautiful friendship out of it. Ever since that experience, I've always made sure to be the best friend that I can be. The most important thing to do for a friend is just show up. Really, it's just showing up, listening. Since stepping up my game and making sure that I am the best friend I can possibly be, the more let down I've been by others. And I think something about this age now, I know a lot of people are caught up in the world around them because of that previous experience of what I would say is me being a shit friend. I have put so much time and energy into other people and I have not received that back. But what I think is super important to note is that there is always going to be someone in the friend group who is, you know, all for the planning and is always going to be the one to maybe put their foot forward first. Say that 3 times fast. There may be someone who's always reaching out first, or planning the holidays first, planning the outings first. There's always type A people and there's type B people. There's nothing wrong with being that person who puts their foot forward first. However, it is the response from the people around you that's important. If they're not responding, if they're not excited, if they're not saying thank you for organizing this, I'm so excited, I'm so happy to be here right now. If they are giving you nothing in return for your energy, that's when you need to stop. I feel like there's a bit of a misconception where people are like, well, I reached out this time, so they have to reach out now, and like, I message first, so they have to message me now. I don't think it has to be like that. It's if whether or not they're matching your energy. You're not always going to find people that are good with being the first to text. That's just like, naturally some people just aren't very good at it. If you're always reaching out first for a coffee date, but they're always showing up late or cancelling, that is not matching your energy. That is just a waste of time. If they're showing up, they're so excited, they want to see you, yes, let's do it, awesome, no worries. It doesn't matter who's reached out first. I have mistakenly given people the benefit of the doubt like 1 too many times, and I have had relationships where I've put in like so much love, so much energy, and I thought I connected super deeply with someone and it wasn't returned. I think knowing when to stop giving people your time and attention is the hardest thing to navigate. I think it's about recognizing if they're bad habits and bad friendship traits. Is that something that you can work with, or is it not? If it's not and you need to walk away, then that's what you need to do. Don't waste your time trying to change people. The people who are shit friends will come to realize it when the time is right. However, don't spend your time chasing shitty friends, because there are so many people in the world, and I guarantee you when you least expect it, the right person is going to come and change the way you think about friendships. I think that's all I have to say for now. I don't know, friendships in your 20s, man, like it's a weird thing. It's hard to navigate, so don't beat yourself up if you're struggling. I hope you got something out of this video. Hope you make some good friends. Hope you have good friends. If not, we can be friends, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye.
Lang?
Is she lang? Some of the fucking British slang is so funny.
So
like calling a girl hot is like pang or
Yeah.
lang.
So
Or
pang.
like She's a sort.
Sort.
She's a sort.
Yeah.
How do you know that from Love Island?
Yeah.